As a woman, first of all, you have to have your money, because for some reason, for some people, the money is the real reason why, let's say, their spouses are not supporting the C-section journey. I know how much I paid for my C-sections, right? I can't remember the exact amount, but I know that it was over $10,000. Women are dying because they say that C-section is bad. Women are dying because they say children that you give birth to through C-section are not real. Me, I'm scared. They say you can only have 3. But here I am with twin pregnancies, and I'm going to do a 4th C-section. And I would say that was the most confusing part of my life, because I was just like, why me? I was depressed because I could not do the things I wanted to do. I felt stuck. I just felt like my life was at a standstill, and I was always fainting. I could not walk from here to here. A man that cannot cook, I judge. A woman that cannot cook, I judge. If as basic as cooking, you don't know how to do it, so what do you know how to do? The doctor was telling me that, do you know the demographic of people that do abortion the most? I was like, no. It was like married women. Story of the century. Did I plan to have 5 children? I feel like I woke up yesterday and I just realized, wow, 5 children. Where did all of you come from? I will describe myself professionally as a goal-getter, creative, fun-loving, and hardworking. That's how I'll describe myself professionally. Personally, I will describe myself as a comment I saw on my YouTube channel a few days ago. Someone said, Sisi Yemmie, you are sunny side up. So I think that's how I would like to describe myself personally. I picked interest in cooking because I like food so much. So sometimes my auntie will prepare a meal and I'm like, maybe I would have liked to add more of this to this dish, or I would have preferred to remove something. When my mom is cooking, I'll be looking and I'll be adding extra jara, like, Mommy, should we do it like this? Should we do it like that? And I think that was when I realized I wanted to start making what I was craving. So that's the thing. I started following my cravings then, and that encouraged me to make food by myself, because I'm like, I think I would prefer if the dodo was a bit burnt. But if you are not in charge of cooking, you cannot make decisions like that. Or if you want extra scoop of rice, it's the person that is in the kitchen that will be enjoying the maybe biting fish, biting meat, taking one dodo while frying. So I wanted power and leverage in the kitchen. And I realized that if I start cooking, I'll get that power and I'll get that leverage. Who inspired me to start cooking, I would say, is my mom, because I watched her cook for many years and she had a catering business at a time. So I used to follow and help to maybe make fried rice. We would knead dough for meat pie. We will do different things. So that's where I got my inspiration from. And I enjoy food, so it just came naturally to me. I monetized cooking, I think in maybe 2014, thereabouts. I had a blog. Now the blog is a website. So it was called gist.com then, but now it is sisiyemmie.com. And I used to post my recipes, let's say once in a blue moon. But I realized that every time I posted a recipe, I would always get feedback from people saying they tried the recipe, they loved it, it worked. And I was like, this is amazing. I can cook something in my house. I can tell you online how to cook it, and you'll still get amazing results. Interesting. But I didn't monetize it then. I just kept producing recipes, until someone sent me a message and asked for my rate card for me to be an ambassador for a brand, and it was a food brand. That would be the first monetization of my food content. And I was like, wow, this is actually amazing. The second monetization option was someone reached out to me from the US, a publisher reached out to me from the US, and they said, we'd like to commission you to create cookbooks. We want you to create 5 cookbooks. This is how much we're going to pay you, and we want you to do it. I never ever thought I'll be able to write cookbooks, but I was like, if these people think I can actually write cookbooks, they must have seen something that I did not see in myself. I did not proceed with them because they wanted to have exclusive rights over all my future cookbooks, and that I would never write another Nigerian cookbook after them. And I'm glad that I had the insight because the money was good. I could have just been like, nobody has offered me this before. Let me just grab this money and write this cookbook. But I sat down and I thought to myself, they might be shortchanging me, and then they are trying to own my intellectual property. I think it's better if I did this myself. So I declined the offer, and I was grateful that they pitched to me. And that was when I started writing my own cookbooks and monetizing my recipes. And then we also have the monetization of recipes on platforms like YouTube, where I started posting videos of recipes more frequently, and those recipes were doing well, and I was getting paid from AdSense and YouTube. So those were the three ways I think I kind of monetized my food content. I can't remember the exact amount, but I know that it was over $10,000. And then I had not seen $10,000 in my life. And so I just did my calculation. As a sharp Naija babe, I was like, can I make this money by myself? Do I need the, because when you think about it, I already have the recipes. Some of these recipes, I already have the pictures for the recipes. I feel like I have done the groundwork. So what is stopping me from self-publishing these books? Yeah, I consider the fact that I could publish my own cookbooks and they might not do well, but I am a lover of books. I collect a lot of cookbooks. I read a lot of books. So it was one of those things that even if it wasn't successful, I would have just done it just for the plot, right? And it is something I still do now. Every year, I try to release one cookbook, maybe a family favorite, Nigerian soups, or children recipes. Now I find other ways to do it. My books are now digital. So I was like, if nobody buys, well, what am I going to do? So a lot of people were not buying the physical books. They were like, oh, I'm in London and I want your book. I'm in America, I want your book. So I turned those books into digital products. And now people download them every single day from all over the world. So yeah, I was skeptic at first, but I was willing to give it a go. I think now I have written nothing less than 7 books. They might be up to 10, and the journey has been awesome. I would say awesome, interesting. You learn as you go. With my first book, it was just me putting recipes together, taking pictures with the camera I was using at the time. And the thing is, I like to do it myself because I enjoy the whole process, cooking the food, plating it, photographing it, writing the recipes. But over time, with the second cookbook, I started learning how to actually write recipes because there's a method to it. By the third book, I learned how to photograph better, food plating better. Everything was better by the third book. So it's just continuous improvement since then. I feel what makes the best meals is a mix of everything. So your ingredients are very important, and I am very big on ingredients because I can make egusi soup here and you can make egusi soup in Kano and they will not taste the same because of the type of ingredients we use. I was having a conversation on X the other day, and someone was saying, anytime I make stew in the UK, it doesn't taste the same as when I make it in Nigeria. And I found that to be the truth as well. My stew tastes different, and that's because of the kind of tomato, the type of pepper. Some that I used to get were more fragrant. The type of tomato options I used to get were different compared to what I have now. So the food tasted different. The seasoning will taste different. Different brands have different types of curry powders. It will taste different if you are not using the same type of curry powder brand that I'm using. So the ingredients really, really matter. And then the method matters as well. So some people, let's say like I said, for egusi, some people will put the egusi in the stock and just boil, and some people will fry first. All of them have different outcomes. So it's all about ingredients and the method of preparation. You can't separate it. One Nigerian meal, I will not say meal, but I will say some ingredients. You won't catch me boiling roundabouts. I can do shaki, bomo. But things like roundabout, all those complicated parts of meat, you will not catch me there cooking it or touching it. So yeah, those are things I would not, you won't catch me doing. No. I started vlogging, I think in 2013, but 2014 more seriously, because I wanted to remember my life, right? And I realized that I forget a lot. So I started recording like little activities, maybe waking up in the morning, cooking and all that, things that I actually want to remember. And I took it more seriously when years after, I would always look back and be like, oh, what was I doing October 1st last year? What did I do in September or 5 years ago? When I gave birth to my children, how did that feel? So I started recording moments like that, like my birth videos, big moments in my life that I wanted my children to be able to see, and then my loved ones that don't live close by, so that they can get updated on my life, because in my life I'm the main character. In my head, this is a movie, I am the main character, and everybody wants to see what I'm doing. But seriously, I just enjoyed doing it, and it brought comfort to some other people, because I would get messages from maybe older women like, oh, when I look at you, I remember me in 1964. This is how I was with my children. This is how I was in my family. And it just brought a lot of people joy, and I enjoyed doing it, documenting. So that was why I started, and I've not stopped since then. It's just that maybe now the format might be different. Maybe it might not be every single day, but it's every moment that counts. I feel like I don't mind whichever of my content is getting more attention. At the moment, I have a food video that has, I think that's my most watched video on YouTube. It has 6 million views, a pizza recipe. And at the same time, I have my birth video of, I think, my first daughter that has 6 million views as well. So the recipes might do well for some reason, because people watch recipes every day, they cook every day. They might not watch birth videos every day, so those videos might not do so well in the long run, but people will always watch recipe videos. And I feel like it's a collaboration. I don't like to separate them, because food is a big part of life. There's nobody that does not eat at least in a week. Some people can say in a day they will not eat, but like in a week, you have to eat something. Food is a part of life. Food is culture. Food is life. So you can't say there's lifestyle without food. You cannot separate the two. So I'm glad that I have a mixture of both, because that's how I like it. Food is a big part of my life. I'm always thinking about food, what I'm going to cook, what I'm going to eat, what I ate yesterday, what I miss eating, and what I look forward to eating, what I'm looking forward to eating tomorrow. So food is my life, and my life is it's about food and sharing. The vlogging niche right now is saturated. We have so many content creators. I remember when I started, and in fact, I did not know any other person doing what I was doing, so it was crazy. But now, so many people are doing the same thing. And how I've been able to stay consistent over the years is because it is something I love. For my BSc, I studied mass communication. If I wasn't doing this, I'll probably be doing something related, but working for somebody else, maybe creating content for other brands. But in this case, I am the content. I love what I do. If I wasn't doing it, I will not feel like a normal human being. If in a week I did not pick up my camera to record something, I actually will not feel normal. So for me, it's part of my lifestyle. It's something that is a passion of mine. I've been able to remain consistent because of that. And also maybe remain relevant because my life keeps evolving. When I started, I was a single babe. People have been with me for over 10 years, watching the transition from single babe to married babe to mom of one to mom of two. Now I have 5 children. Some people have seen that transition, and I don't know, it's just having like an online best friend, because even me, I watch other people's videos. There are people that I've watched for over 15 years, and I've been watching them and following their lives. In fact, there's somebody I watch when she gave birth to her daughter, and now the daughter is going to university, and the daughter started her own YouTube channel. So I was just like, wow, this is so interesting. Like, I kind of knew when you were born, and now you're going off to college and you're starting your own channel, and I'm transitioning with you. I'm still following your mommy, but now I'm following you as well. So yeah, I feel like it's the same way when people watch me. Maybe they see something relatable and they just want to see how someone else is living their own life. I think that's what has helped me, but I cannot say that that is everything. The main thing for me will be God, because if God did not bring it to this level, I will be nowhere, to be honest. I can post videos every day and to get just maybe 1,000 views, but it is God that has, I would say, positioned me where I am, and it must be for a purpose. So yeah, I owe everything to God. I would say if you have it in your head that you want to create content, just pick up your phone and do it. Don't overthink it. Just do it, because I know that content creation changed my life. Creating videos changed my life. There's so many opportunities I got, so many people I've got to meet in the process, and so many things that I do now that I would not do if I was not creating content. So creating content is a way to put yourself out there. I will tell anybody that is interested. Plus, the people that are not interested, all of you carry your camera. The whole world will be creating content now, but definitely if you have the passion for it, you do it. You just find a way to do it differently. Maybe there'll be something about it that makes you stand out. Everybody is different. Bring your own spin into the game. Use your own voice. Some people start creating content and they have fake accents. Use your real accent. There are people that are watching you because of that accent. When you're trying to be like somebody else, your position remains vacant. So there are people that want to watch you for you, and your personality is what will differentiate you from the next person. One sacrifice I've made for my career reminds me of something my mom used to say. When I was growing up, my mom would say, I don't want to be that kind of person that I am so popular, I have money, and I cannot buy bole on the road again. No. But I've gotten to that stage where everywhere you stop, somebody says hello to you, which is fine. Somebody hugs you, somebody sends you a message, and that's privacy. Privacy is gone. I sacrificed my privacy and the privacy of my loved ones. Well, let me just say, I always like big, big things. So I always imagine big, big things, but I did not imagine how it would be now. So yes, I did imagine I would like to be successful, and I dream of it even till now. I still sit down and I'm like, when am I going to blow? I still ask myself, when am I going to blow? Meaning, where I am now, I have not blown the blow that I want to blow. So I always feel like there's something better out there. There's something bigger. I have big dreams, really big dreams. And I was praying to God the other day, and I was like, God, do you know big dreams are a burden? Because on some days I just want to be like the regular person, like just not having, I don't know if it's everybody that has that, just enjoying your life the way it comes, like not thinking of too much. But my head, I'm always thinking of big things that I want to do, and I'm like, it can be a burden, it can also be a blessing. Yeah, 100,000 was very, actually, it's funny that the 100,000 was more exciting than the 1 million, right? And I remember the 100,000 because I think that was when my channel was really picking up. And I think I was on the way to the market when it hit 100,000. And I was so excited. I parked the car, I came down, I danced a bit, and yeah, that was it. I remember that. But when I was hitting 1 million, I was fully pregnant and stressed out. And I was just like, oh my gosh, 1 million, yes, that's cool, but I want to sleep. I was exhausted. I was not there mentally. So yeah. The rewarding part of my career for me is everything, actually. Is the life that I get to live. When I was maybe 15, 14, I remember I was talking to one of my aunties, and she was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I said, I don't know what I want to be, but whatever I want to be, I want to be able to relax in the morning. Like, I want to have a flexible life where I don't have to do 9 to 5. I don't have to go to work every day, right? I want to be able to control the work that I do. And now that does not mean that as a content creator, I don't go to work every day. In fact, I don't do 9 to 5. I do 2-4-7. But it is not like, oh, I have to drive somewhere every day and follow. I don't like the routine of it. That is it. I don't like the routine and the monotony of that lifestyle. So I'm glad that I live a life that is flexible, is interesting. I can decide this whole week I'm making videos from morning to night. I'm not going to sleep. I'm doing this. And then next week I can decide I'm not working the whole of next week. I'm just going to lay in bed. Of which, no, you can't lay in bed when you're a mommy. Have 5 kids now. So, but I can decide really what I want to do to some extent. So yeah, I think for me, the best part is the life that I am able to live, because I did not think it was possible, but here we are. I just feel like people don't understand how lucky they are to be born in this era. Well, I even say be born, or to even be living in this era. Like I said, I get a lot of comments on my channel, and there was one comment that struck me from one older lady. She's like in her 70s, and she was like, I wanted to be you in my youth, but we did not have internet, we did not have computers, all these things did not exist. And now I'm an old woman, and that time has passed, and I cannot be you. And I'm like, that is actually the truth, because some people are born in this era and they don't understand how lucky they are. I remember when there was no internet, all this, you can send picture to somebody's phone. Like, to me, on some days, I'm just like, I feel like I've lived different lives. I existed when it did not, that part of the world did not exist. And tech has brought all these things. Now we have mobile phones. Then when we want to call, you go to your neighbor. Then we used to go to my neighbor's house to use their landline, and you dial the number and you make the call. I probably only used that phone maybe 2 times in my life. And now we have gotten to the point where you can not only just make calls, you can see the person on video, you can watch recipes online, like you can order food online. Do you know that did not exist before? It is what is in your environment you eat. Now you can see that I'm like, I'm craving this. Let me place an order on this app. The food is going to come to you. We're so lucky now, and I think we take a lot of things for granted. So yeah, just sit down sometimes and think, what am I taking for granted? What can I use to my advantage now? Because it's everywhere now. You just look at it as this is nothing. But there's somebody somewhere, maybe in the village, like, if only I have that phone that even if the picture is blurry, I'll be using it. Meanwhile, some people have good iPhones, but they're like, it's not the latest one, it's not the latest one, I can't use it. We're so lucky right now. So every day I am very grateful to God. I feel very blessed that I experienced this internet and I experienced it and I made a career within it. Like, it makes me very happy. Okay, so for me, that has evolved. But for me, security is very important. I don't share my address. I don't share my children's school. I try to leave a place before I talk about it. I don't share my current location, and I try to confuse people sometimes. Sometimes they might be like, oh, this is your birthday, but maybe my birthday was 3 weeks ago. I gave birth on this day, but I did not talk about it until this part. So you might think I gave birth in April, but maybe I gave birth in January. So you don't know what is happening to me right now in my main moments. Maybe in some other moments, like maybe we have events. Yeah, Christmas is Christmas. But let's say things like births, things that are happening with my kids, like the more private moments, you might not know when it happens. I might just share the parts that I want you to see. And that's agenda setting. I don't show you everything. So I try to be very careful in terms of security. And I try to not overshare, even though I'm an oversharer. I try not to overshare on things that would make people look at maybe my loved ones differently or something. Somebody was saying, I've watched you for 10 years, but I really don't know you like that, because I don't really talk too much. I just show you, this is what I'm doing. That I don't sit down and talk too much. I'm a yapper, but not too much of a yapper. So I'm not a specific yapper. I'm just a generalized yapper. Yeah. So I try not to dwell on village people, right? Because I did not do anything to them, so they cannot do anything to me. I don't dwell on them. But also, like I was saying, with pregnancies, I don't post my pregnancies in real time. By the time I start posting, I'm already giving birth to the children, right? But that does not mean anything that cannot happen to anybody. I just share that process because when I was pregnant, let's say with my first child, I was like, so nobody has given birth in this Nigeria. Why is nobody's birth story on the internet? Can you people tell me what giving birth is like? People will say, when you reach there, you will know. You know, in Nigeria, nobody talks it. When you get there, you will know. Don't worry. And I was like, hey, God, you know, it's when you now get there, now you now be seeing Pepe. You now be like, had I known? I always wanted to know, so I was always curious. So by the time I was giving birth to my first child, I did not document it because I did not know what I was doing. And then I wasn't really into vlogging. But by the second child, I documented it because I was doing it for people like me. There are so many people that were like, where do you give birth in Nigeria? How do you do during pregnancy? What is a C? I had all C-sections. What is a C-section like? A lot of people were curious about it. Women are dying because they said that C-section is bad. Women are dying because they say children that you give birth to through C-section are not real. So I'm like, this is advocacy for me. Let me use myself as the scapegoat. I've done C-section. I've done it. You have seen. I went to the hospital. This is what happens in a C-section. You don't need to kill yourself and your baby. A lot of babies have died because women have refused to do C-sections. Maybe at that point, the husband will be like, I beg you, I'm not signing any document. My hand is not there. The family will be like, please, me, I'm not involved though. And before you see, time has passed, the baby, things become complicated, the child dies, or the mother dies, or both of them die. So I try to demystify things like that, like C-section. When I was going for my fourth C-section, that's my twins, people were like, fourth C-section? They say you can only have 3 C-sections in this life. And I was like, yes, even me, I'm scared. They say you can only have 3. But here I am with twin pregnancies, and I'm going to do a 4th C-section. And people were curious about that. And we did, and we came back and we documented it. Now I get people asking me, oh, if not that I saw your video, if not that I saw this and I saw that, I would not have known. You have given me peace of mind. The fact that I know that there are women in conditions where just because of their mind, it's a thing of the mind, because of stories they've heard, they lose their babies or they lose their lives. And if I can make it easier for you by explaining what the process is, by showing you what the process is, by showing you my healing journey and how now I'm back to myself, telling you things I did. I even had to do a pregnancy book. It's not just even about pregnancy, it's like pregnancy, postpartum, pre-pregnancy, fertility. It has all of that in that book because I got so many questions. So yeah, that's why I share things like that, because I feel like they can help somebody somewhere. When it was my time, I wished somebody was sharing, but a lot of people weren't sharing in detail. And I only watch videos of maybe people abroad sharing, but it's not the same as people in Nigeria sharing. So yeah, if that was all I did, then I feel like I've done something. I didn't plan to have 4 C-sections. My first pregnancy, as a novice, I went to the hospital. When they say this is your EDD, the EDD has passed by almost 2 weeks. Doctor is like, I don't know, your baby is not coming. Don't know what to do. And then I went to the hospital one day. They're like, you know what, come today. We're going to induce you so that you must give birth today because this baby must not stay beyond today. They did induction. The induction failed. The induction was so painful. The induction process, it failed. And by the time we realized everything had failed, the baby was in distress. We had to have an emergency C-section, which is worse than a scheduled C-section because you are not prepared. When I went there, I wasn't prepared for anything C-section. I just thought, oh, they're going to induce me, and then I give birth. So the whole process from that side, I was weak. I was not even myself. I don't even think I was in this world again by the time they were doing the C-section. And I was so upset because I feel like I was so unprepared for everything that happened to me right from pregnancy to the birth and to the C-section. I was just like, what are things happening to me? I don't have control over anything again. Like, you're inducing me, the pain is too much, the process of the induction, and then the giving birth, the C-section. I was not prepared for a C-section, and now this is an emergency. So many, like, my mind was going crazy. So by the second time, I did my research, and a lot of doctors were like, well, if you've done one, you can try to do a VBAC, which is try to give birth the other way instead of the C-section. But I was asking myself, what's the point? because it has side effects, right? If we try it and it does not work, we'll not do emergency C-section again. I'm like, no, I'm not doing emergency C-section with you people again, because the disadvantages of the VBAC not working is more deadlier, because you can have rupture in your womb. And I was like, do we have the emergency services to deal with that? No. Let me go for a scheduled C-section. Schedule the C-section. Let me know what I'm going for. I'm not going to go that roundabout again. Schedule it. So when we did the second one, I was like, okay, scheduled. And this is more like it. You come to the hospital by yourself. You put your bag on the bed. You are ready for what you are going to face. I like it like this. And then by the third one, what's the point? What's the point doing another type of, just cut it again. To me, I felt like, choose one way of giving birth. I've chosen one. They've cut my belly. The scar is there. I'm not using another place again to give birth. Go back to that scar. Cut it again. So it's that same scar they cut for the fourth time. And I was like, yeah. At least I know like what the outcomes are supposed to be. If this happens, I know what to do than the other the other part of it. So yeah, it was not intentional. It's just how I saw it, the situation. And I decided to follow a path. So I made a decision by my second pregnancy. This is the direction I want to go in. I like to be in charge of the things that are happening to me. I don't like things to happen to me. I like to be able to make a choice. And I'm glad that I had that option for C-section. Story of the century. Did I plan to have 5 children? I feel like I woke up yesterday and I just realized, wow, 5 children. Where did all of you come from? The first child, okay, yes, you have to have a first child when you're married. I just got married and I got pregnant almost immediately. So I was first of all crying like, I didn't even do 1 year. Blah. I got pregnant immediately. I was like, okay, yeah, I've gotten pregnant. Second one, yes, I was ready mentally. Third one, I was like, everybody gets that third one, right? It happens in many families. You just have the third child and you're like, okay. So as I got the third child, I was like, let's wrap it up here. Thank you for your services. We thank the Lord. 3 children, that is it. And then I got pregnant again. And I would say that was the most confusing part of my life, because I was just like, why me? Initially, I was like, God, why me? Like, what did I do to offend you? But then I talked to a lot of people. I started following, now see, the power of social media, right? I started following a lot of families that had 4 kids. And I was like, okay, it's not that bad. They're surviving. Okay, I can do this. She does not have 10 heads. This one even has 7 children. That one has 8 children. And what's 4 children? I can do 4 children. And then a few months into the pregnancy, they're like, oh, let's go for scan. I've done scan before. It was normal. When I did the scan initially, the doctor was like, the pregnancy might not even progress because it looks strange. So the baby is looking strange in the womb, so it might not progress. I give you 3 weeks. Come back in 3 weeks. It would have gone off. You would have had a miscarriage. So me, I was holding on to that. I was like, yes. By 3 weeks, it would have gone. When I came back like 2 months later, he was scanning. He was like, okay, I can see baby A is doing good and baby B is in the corner. I was like, I thought I was being pranked, right? So I was like, I'm a content creator. They're probably pranking me. This is probably maybe Brother Shaggy or something they are doing here. I looked around. I was like, where is the camera? Is this a prank? He was like, why do you think I'm pranking you? I'm like, because you cannot be telling me that it's 2. Like, what are you saying? He was like, I'm seeing 2 babies here. I said, doctor, look at my face. He's like, you don't remember me. I was the one that came to meet you. When you told me that I'm going to go and I'll come back and I will have miscarriage, you are telling me you are seeing 2. He was like, oh, madam, okay. Let me look well. At this point, I'm actually seeing 2. But maybe you can take the scan to another place, go and scan somewhere else. Maybe. I was like, that day, I was shaking. When I got to the other hospital, the person that was scanning me was like, oh, I'm even a twin and I want twins. And, oh, you're so lucky. I was like, truly, there are 2 people there. Oh, my God, see. I would say the journey from the pregnancy to the end was a journey of faith. To me, I call it my journey of faith, because when I first found out I was pregnant, I was so depressed, and I was praying to God, and God was like, okay, you want to have only 3 kids because you feel like you know the future. You are the one that has been doing it all this while. If you trust in me as per your God, you know that I can't deal with all this. You don't know the purpose of having these children. And when I found out that they were now twins, I was like, this is so wild, because I now got angry. I've always wanted twins since I was small. And every time I used to check my scans from my first pregnancy to my 3rd pregnancy, I'll be like, oh, maybe this is pregnancy that will be twins. Maybe this one. And when it's not twins, I'm disappointed, right? So I'm like, you knew I wanted twins. You could have made the first child a twin so that I'll end it. You could have made the second one a twin. No, the 3rd one you could have made a twin. You didn't do that one. You now gave me extra. Now put Jara on top again. You now brought the twins when... So at one point, I was happy because it's something I've always wanted, right? I've always wanted twins. But then I was like, why now? Like, why not before? And to me, it was just a journey of faith. And it was just like, I feel like I felt God telling me, wait and see what I can do now. Like, it's not your power. If by your power, let's say you restrict yourself to 2 kids, and that means the things you are doing is by your power. So you feel you can handle 2 babies alone, only 2. And so let me give it for you. You do it. But if you trust me, leave this with me, right? I'm the one that knows the end from the beginning. I know what I'm doing. So I was just like, it is your will. Because as you know, as a pregnant woman, there are options. When I went to the hospital, they'll tell you there are options. You can take a tablet and it will all go away, right? And I was just like, there are options, right? What am I, like, I was so conflicted. I was like, what am I going to do? But then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to follow the will of God. It has happened, it has happened. I'll just follow the will of God. And hopefully my testimony is going to help other families, other women that are in my situation, because let's face it, a lot of women are there every day. Doctor was telling me that, do you know the demographic of people that do abortion the most? I was like, no. It was like married women. It's not even single girls, it's married women. So I was like, it doesn't even make sense. Somebody that is married doing abortion, like, let's not go back to contraceptives that fail, because that's how I got here, right? So I'm angry with the fact that contraceptive fail. I'm angry at everybody, because you people told me this will work. I was still breastfeeding when I got pregnant. People told me a pregnant woman, a breastfeeding mother cannot get pregnant, and contraceptive works, and everything failed me. So I was just like, this must be the will of God. You people really wanted to come. Oh yeah, be coming now. So I feel like my testimony helped some people, because I spoke to a lot of women who were in similar situations. And I have to say, since I gave birth to the twins, I thought my life would scatter upside down, that I would have died by now. But I'm actually flourishing. So I give God all the glory. What helped me is just, I was reading my Bible all the time. I was watching a lot of videos of other families all the time, to just encourage myself that there are other people doing this thing. It doesn't have to be hard. And then I was trying to plan as much as I can. I think I was very sad, because, you know, people are like, in this economy, like if you tell somebody you even have 3 children, they'll be like, in this economy, you now have 5. Like, people are just like side-eyeing you, like, you don't even know how to protect yourself. Like, how are you daft? Do you understand? In this, I've seen the conversations online. People are like, are you daft? How can you have 5 children in this economy? How can you do that? You are irresponsible. You are this. But it's now who go there, know what they happen. It's he who wear the shoe, knows where what it pinches. So I don't even shook my mouth again, because I was one of those people in the past that used to be like, how can you have many children? And now that it has happened to me, I'm just like, it can happen. Just know that. Just know that it can happen to you too. Now that it has happened, what are you going to do? So I told myself, you cannot afford to be depressed. Now think about a solution. What is the way out? Either you complain every day, or you enjoy the gifts that God has given to you. Choose the one you want to go. I would like to be a mommy that's happy, that is flourishing, that is enjoying my children instead of complaining about this, about that, about that. And I'm just glad that God has helped me, because I can't do it on my own. To me, I think it's only God that helped me out of that depression. And a lot of, I keep saying older women, a lot of older women keep sending messages that, see, when you're older, you will enjoy it, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm really looking forward to getting old, and also telling somebody that when you're older, you'll enjoy all these many children that you have. So yes, even now I'm enjoying it because I have different ages and they make my life so exciting. So I feel, so because I said I don't like monotonous life. Remember I said it then. So this in the mix just makes my life so plot twist, interesting, drama, exactly. Drama, your life is different. It's not like your friend's life. It's not like your sister's life. You are living a very different kind of life. So yeah. In my twin pregnancy, I was exhausted. I was crying every day because I could not walk from here to here. My normal pregnancy, my belly is like this. So with the twins, it was a lot. I was depressed because I could not do the things I wanted to do. I felt stuck. I could not go to events. I could not get up to the kitchen. I was irritated with food. I just felt like my life was at a standstill. So yeah, that was the difficult part for me. And I was always fainting. Like I could just go somewhere and my eyes would be dizzy and fall down. So I could not really go out like that. And that was when I discovered that I was missing some kind of nutrients, that there's some kind of food I'm supposed to eat. And because they are twins, they are draining all the nutrients from me. So like, that was when I understood the relationship between nutrition and fertility. Because there are some foods you can eat for twins. Because people were asking me, how do you get twins? How do you get twins? And I realized, oh my gosh, what if it's the yam? My husband likes yam a lot. We eat, before marrying him, I probably eat yam once a year. But I started eating yam every day because my husband, we eat it every Sunday and it spills over, I eat yam, yam, yam. I was like, what if it's the yam? And then I started doing research and I realized there are some foods you eat that induce twins, multiple fertilization and all that. And I was eating all these foods, some spices that we have in our Nigerian food. I was eating all this food like every week, and I did not know, right? So it could be that. It could just be anything. I realized the connection between nutrition and even how your pregnancy goes. After I changed my diet, I became stronger. I started looking better. Even the process of a C-section, when you're about to have a C-section, there are some foods that help with healing. When you have a cut, if you eat some particular food, you make your wounds heal quicker. And a C-section is a very big cut. I changed my diet. I healed better in my fourth C-section than in my third, second, and first C-sections. So I was just like, food is something. Food is medicine, right? But we don't know. And that was why I had to do that pregnancy book, for just because I was seeing so many things and experiencing so many things. And even after I gave birth, the kind of food I was eating, and I was just like, wow, it feels, I expected to be more tired. If not that I had that breakdown in between pregnancy that made me start looking at my food. Then I was like, wow, I didn't know that food can do this. Food can do that. There are some families that they are trying to have babies, they can't have babies. And it's because of the food you are eating. It is that serious. So yeah, food is, yeah, in this last pregnancy, I last in Jesus' name. In this last pregnancy, I learned all these things. And I feel like maybe those are part of the things God wanted me to learn for somebody else to be able to pick from and all that. Yeah, so it was different. It was more insightful. It was more, it changed the way I thought about so many things, and it changed the opportunities I saw. I had to drag myself out of it, and that was with this one, because after giving birth, there was one day I posted the picture on my stories, on my Instagram stories, and somebody was like, I can see the sadness in your eyes. Try to bring yourself out of it. And that the person was correct. I was sad. Like, I was just like, wow, that's it. Like, I used to describe it to my sister-in-law. I say, I feel like there was a hole and I was running away from the hole. You're having a nightmare, running away. Now see yourself, who dig this pit for me? And I fell inside the pit and now I cannot escape, but that's not true, right? So I needed to have a change in perspective, first of all. So I was feeling sad, I was feeling depressed. I was like, look at my mates, look at what they are doing, look at what I'm doing. Like, I was just, and it's because of comparison. It is also because of things that you feel like you want to do. And it's just like, just give yourself grace, right? Pray, give yourself grace, eat good food, enjoy the moment you're in. Like, it's life. You can't change a lot of things, but you can change how you look at it. So I started looking at things a bit more differently, and I stopped comparing my journey with someone else's journey, and I started having more faith in God. And yeah, the stigma surrounding C-sections is just wild, and like you said, it's as a result of ignorance. I feel like everybody can play a part. Me, I play my part by talking about it. I remember when I gave birth the first time via C-section, somebody visited me and she was like, when they ask you how you give birth, don't say C-section or they don't used to say that kind of thing outside. Just say that you gave birth. I was like, it's not something to be ashamed of. Somebody even told me, you have always been a lazy girl. I know there's no how you'll be able to give birth by yourself. Till today, I remember that comment and I'm like, it's true, Sha. I've always been a lazy girl, but C-section is not for lazy people. That thing is very tough. It is extremely painful. And the journey of healing is very long. So to me, I was just like, I don't see why you will say it's for lazy people, because the people where they do C-section, they chested the thing. It's not easy. It's only those that have gone there and come back that can tell you the story, right? And I feel the way we can get rid of the stigma is talking about it. If I talk about it, you talk about it. I remember my first video where I talked about C-section. People were like, but by the second one, they were like, oh, okay, it's not so bad. By the third one, okay. By the fourth one, right? I even said I wanted to do a documentary by the fourth one, but I have not been opportune because mommy duties have carried me. But yeah, it was something I wanted to do. We need documentaries. We need even the government to step in, to fund, let's say people that even want to do documentaries, to fund creating awareness, even in the hospitals. Hospitals need to talk about it because this thing has caused a lot of women to die. And I feel like as a woman also, you should be able to take life into your hands as soon as you know that pregnancy is a possibility for you, not when you get pregnant, so because by the time you get pregnant, it's almost too late, right? This thing is for somebody that is not yet pregnant. They know they will get pregnant someday. As a woman, first of all, you have to have your money, because for some reason, for some people, the money is the real reason why, let's say, their spouses are not supporting the C-section journey. Because somebody was like, normal birth, 100K, C-section, 1.5, 2.5, 3 million. I know how much I paid for my C-sections, right? When you tell somebody, let's say an Okada driver, that his wife should come and do C-section, come and pay how much, he'll be like, the other women that gave birth and all they paid was 20,000 naira. Like, do they have two heads? But as a woman, that's where you have to start advocating for yourself. You have to have your own income. Sit down, decide, what hospital do I want to give birth in, right? What kind of birth do I want to have? If C-section is an option, because C-section is an option because you don't know how your birth journey is going to go. You can go and say, oh, I will give birth like a Hebrew woman. When you reach that, baby does not come. You try, the baby does not come. What are you going to do? So always know that there are options. Be like, I want to have my money in case of, if the thing reach there now and it's all about money, I can now be like, okay, don't worry about money. I pay for my birth. I choose the hospital I want to give it in. The first hospital I went to, one of the first hospitals I was in my antenatal, I noticed that they were shouting at the pregnant women while they were giving birth. They were slapping some, they were beating some. And I'm like, is this what people want me to come and do? Like, I beg, I not do again. When I chose the hospital that I gave birth in, I told the doctor, I want to see your C-section room, your surgery room. He was like, Why? Nobody asks to see that. I say, me, I want to see it with my eyes. It's not that day when I want to give birth. You now be showing me, let me see. And when I saw, I didn't like what I saw. I left that hospital. I went to another hospital. I went hospital shopping. I made decisions that suited myself. When it came to signing the paper, I carried the paper. I said, give me the paper. I signed it by myself. I signed that I'm going to do C-section. Every liability, everything, I signed it by myself. Because it's your life at the end of the day. When you're on that table or when you're trying to give birth and you don't make it, it is you. You have gone. 2 months later, your husband is married again, right? It is your life on the line. So you should be able to make decisions. So before you get pregnant, I know before when people are thinking about marriage, about to get married, they're just thinking, oh, marriage, wedding, preparation, ashwabi, food, this. But these are the complications that come in marriage. People get pregnant. When you get pregnant, it can end as a C-section or it might not. It's that time you know that your husband's family will say they have never seen C-section in their life before. These are things that you can't even, these are not conversations that people normally have before before marriage. Yes, they say have conversations, but in conversations, how many people have discussed in your family, do they have C-section? Nobody really talks about that. Okay, if C-section comes, what do you want? What do people believe in? Will you be able to pay? It is in that moment you will know what people believe in. It's that time you hear that they have never done it in their lineage. Or if they have done it, it's only women that have left leg that have C-section. Or if you have C-section, the child is not real. You don't know all those things till you get there. And by then it's too late. And let's say you are pregnant, you don't have a job. It's not that time you now be looking for work or the work that you use and pay for the C-section that you want to have. So I feel like as women, we have to empower ourselves, not just with money, but you have to empower yourself in terms of knowledge. You have to be self-aware of what's happening to you, around you, to women. Don't say it cannot happen to me, right? And that's something I always stand for. I always want to be in control of how things are happening to me. There are some things that you cannot change, but I want to be able to control how I experience certain things. I don't want other people to be the one to make the decision on what kind of hospital I can give birth in or what kind of experience I get to have. You can choose that and you start choosing it before you even get married, right? You start choosing it before you even get married because for a lot of women, by the time they get married and get pregnant, it's already too late. They are at the mercy of anybody, really. There are some people that once they get pregnant, they take them to their in-laws' house. That's where they stay till pregnancy. Is that where you be saying, I'm craving pepper soup, I'm craving this. If you don't have money, you crave and you swallow your craving. Do you understand? You swallow your craving. So you have to be empowered as a woman because empowerment is the key to just living life on better terms because life can be very hard for women especially. So I get to see that a lot where women are just living lives that they are not happy with. They cannot make decisions, even decisions as the foods they want to eat. They cannot afford to say, oh, today I want to eat fried rice instead of jollof rice. Nah, they can't make that decision. You should be able to decide so many things in your life, like it is your life. So I would say empower yourself by seeking opportunities, get an education, learn a skill, and then see people around you, see what people are doing, be aware of what is happening in the world so that you can keep evolving as well. I would say before you get married, know yourself, but sometimes you can't really know yourself until time has passed. I feel like there's a certain age you get to and it will just click, oh, this is the kind of person I am. But self-awareness is really key. Deciding, know the kind of life you want to live. That can decide the kind of partner you marry. You can't say, oh, I want to be independent woman, I want to be able to travel, I want to be able to do this. Then you marry somebody that is traditional man that does not want his wife to travel. It's because you don't know yourself. That's why you married somebody like that, right? So self-awareness for me is a big deal. Be aware of the kind of life you want and see if the person, like I noticed that when it comes to marriage, women treat it as, I don't have an option. It's what came to me that I took. You have an option. All these guys are auditioning to be your husband. You are the main character, right? Think of it like that. That you are the main character. This is the kind of life I want to live. is this guy going to join me on that journey to live this kind of life and vision that I have? He has his own vision. Are we going to be able to collaborate and live this kind of life? Or it is only his vision? You are just anything, anywhere below face, you are just going. So yeah, self-awareness is key. Once you know the kind of person you are, I like a husband that is always gisting, is always playing. You're not now going to marry a serious person and you say, you do not know. It's because you are not aware of what you like. Look at other marriages. And something I'll also say, get a mentor, a good mentor, or people that have been there before. Ask them, how did you make the decision? What are the things I should look out for? Those people will tell you things. You put everything together inside your notebook. You study it and you use it as a basis to choose. And you always also pray to God as well to help you choose the right person. There's judgment on women that don't know how to cook, but I feel like the judgment should be for everybody because cooking is a life skill. I don't see it as a woman's skill or a gender skill. It's for everybody. After all of us are eating. As a man, men wake up in the morning and they are hungry. They crave for food. So a man that cannot cook, I judge. A woman that cannot cook, I judge everybody because it means you are actually dependent on somebody providing nutrition for you. And nutrition is kind of like the most basic thing. Like if we did not have all these extra things we were doing, everybody will wake up in the day, eat, sleep, wear clothes. If there was no TV, no internet, you would be in the forest looking for what to eat. You should be able to put sticks together, light a fire, and boil yam or something. I just really say basic survival skill. And if as basic as cooking, you don't know how to do it. So what do you know how to do? When your wife goes to work and comes back tired, will you be waiting for her to come back before you eat? What are your children going to eat? Your wife is not at home, your children will not eat. Or your husband is at home, or your husband is not at home. You as the wife, you people will not eat. Or you people will buy food outside. Because of buying food outside, it's a lot. Astronomical. It's not even sustainable, right, for the average person. So I just feel like cooking is a life skill that everybody should have. It's kind of like breathing. You should be able to make basic food. I'm not saying you should be able to be a chef, you should be able to do this, do that. No, but basic soup, eba, rice, all those things, whatever you eat in your culture, you should be able to know how to make it. You should be able to survive without somebody else. And some people make decisions on who to marry based on, can she cook? Okay, she can cook now. You have married somebody you don't like. The one you like, you did not marry her because she cannot pound yam. Now you are living your life frustrating the one that you married, frustrating yourself because you married somebody just because of food. Like, how can food be the reason you marry somebody? Just think about it. Food is empowerment. Learning how to cook is empowerment. Nobody can make shakara for you, right? And you can live a good life because you know how to cook. There are some things that will not be priority to you. Like now, like once you know how to cook, this is where I look at it. Once you know how to cook, that's basic. Now you can now start looking at things in another person like, oh, is this person considerate? Is this person kind? You not allow food to cloud your judgment because food can cloud a lot of people's judgment. It is not that serious, right? It's just a basic thing that everybody should know how to do. So yeah, that's how I look at it. A lot of my books are digital now. I have maybe 2 or 3 on Amazon. So if like you're in the US, in the UK, anywhere in the world, you can get those 2 books. But the rest of them are digital. You just need to go to your phone, search for Sisi Yemmie cookbooks, download it to your phone. You always have it in your pocket. And that's why I like digital books because you don't have to wait till you get home to open the cookbook. It's on your phone, accessible anywhere, anytime. I cannot say on average how much I make. I can't even give an approximate. But what I can say is that it is better than what I would have been earning at the 9-to-5 job that I had previously. So yeah, it's way better lucrative than me being employed somewhere else because the options are limitless. I've been thinking about the Sisi Yemmie legacy a lot lately. And I would like to be remembered as a pioneer and a lover of good food. I would like to continue to simplify cooking for a lot of people, for families. And when people think of, oh, how do I make something as easy as eba? How would Sisi Yemmie make it? That's what I want people to always think about. How would Sisi Yemmie make beans? How would Sisi Yemmie make jollof rice? I want to be the go-to resource for authentic Nigerian food, delicious food. Yeah. So I'm working on building that legacy day after day. Hello guys, thank you for watching. Please like, share and comment, and also subscribe to Instablog Naija TV for more content. Bye.